Long ago, at the edge of the Alaskan frontier, there lived a puppy named Balto, who had a husky dog for a father and a white Arctic wolf for a mother. However, at about 5 weeks old, he had gotten separated from his parents and never knew much about them. Luckily, a Russian snow goose named Boris Gusanov found him and took him to the beach, where a boat had crashed to shore. There, he raised Balto like his very own son until the wolf dog was about 2 years old. One day, in the cold winter of 1925, Balto was anxious to see the annual dog race in Nome and congratulate the winning team. He dragged Boris in his mouth through the rooftops.
Get your slobbering mouth off me!
Come on, let's go, Boris. We can cut around the back and catch the end of the race.
Oh, no. I'm a delicate country bird. I hate going into town.
Aw, come on, what's the worst that can happen?
As Balto prepared to leap, Boris grabbed on his tail and was yanked at full force. The wolf dog leapt from roof to roof until Boris accidentally let go and fell into a pair of jeans hanging to a clothesline. Balto stopped and ran back to save his friend. He grabbed the clothesline with his teeth and swung himself to the roof where he had dropped Boris, dragging the goose with him.
Please! Why do I let you talk me into these things?
Then, suddenly, Boris slipped down a roof and into a window, where a man grabbed his webbed foot and pulled off the goose's tail feathers. Angered, he snatched back the feathers and replanted them, only to see the butcher pull out a knife and prepare to strike. Just in the nick of time, Balto grabbed Boris's head with his mouth and pulled him out.
Bring that back, you thief! You putting me down now, Mr. Golden Retriever?
Whatever you say, Boris.
Every time is a race. You run around like you're in it.
One day I will be.
Balto raced down the rooftops onto a lower one. Boris was trying to keep up with his friend by sliding down them.
Heel fight! Boris Gusanov is no spring chicken!
Then suddenly, Boris fell down a hidden window and ran out another one, where a pile of snow fell down on top of him.
No spring penguin either. It's cold.
He tried to fly, but he was so cold he wrapped his wings around himself, but then fell and was caught by Balto.
Come on, we don't want to miss the finish.
Oh, that would be a tragedy.
But then Balto ran past Boris, who spun around into a hole of snow.
There's a being sarcastic.
Balto raced through a dark alley and finally found a spot where he could see the end of the race undetected. There, he found a beautiful red husky with a young girl. The husky's name was Jenna, and the girl, Rosie, was her owner. She had just gotten a new sled from her parents, as well as a musher's hat, which had blown away when she was waving it to congratulate the winner of the race. Rosie tried to go after it, but Jenna pulled her back. Balto waited until the dog sled team, led by a powerful husky named Steel, passed by him. Then he charged out of his hiding place and started to pass them up.
Out of my way, Lobo!
Now let me explain something about Steel. If you're thinking he's heartless, I'll tell you he was actually black from the lack of blood being pumped from his lack of heart. As Balto neared the place where Rosie's hat had fallen, Steel snapped at him, and the wolf dog caught the hat in his teeth and jumped out of the way of the team, who had crossed the finish line. Boris, who had followed Balto, was surprised. As Steel was being unfastened from his sled, his 3 helpers, a huge brown husky named Nicky, a tall excitable yellow one named Caltag, and a short skinny gray one named Star, were congratulating him.
Congratulations there, boss there. It was a pleasure running behind you. Of course, the view got remarkable.
You were the most amazing, the most exalted, the most preeminent, the most top drawer. You won!
Meanwhile, Balto was returning Rosie's hat to its owner, when Rosie's father, who had followed her all the way to the race, ran up and kicked snow in Balto's face.
He might bite you, honey. He's part wolf.
As Balto started to sadly walk away, Steel showed up and sauntered toward Jenna, only to be stopped by the beautiful red husky's 2 friends, an Afghan named Sylvie and a Pomeranian named Dixie.
Ladies. Hi there, Jenna. Enjoy the race.
Yeah, almost as much as you did.
Thanks. Jenna, let's go celebrate. I know where all the bones are buried.
I don't know, Steele. Suddenly I've lost my appetite.
Oh. Well, maybe your taste runs more toward wolf.
Jenna, come on, girl. We're going back home.
Sorry, Steele. My girl is calling me.
On the other hand, my girl is away at boarding school.
Meanwhile, Balto was returning back to his boat home with Boris at his side.
Balto. There's some things I can't do for you. Yeah. I'm Goose, not Cupid.
Suddenly, Steele showed up, followed by Nikki, Caltag, and Star.
Didn't make the team. Bingo.
Don't listen to it. Don't look at him. Live a long life.
My name's Balto.
But you can call him Idiot.
I'm sorry, Balto. Balto the half-breed.
Then Steele turned to Boris and knocked him into an empty dinner plate, shutting him with a bowl.
Male Goose. You half-breed too, huh? Part turkey?
Good wordplay there, boss.
You are the wittiest, the quickest. You are the drollest, the cleverest, the sharpest. You are the most hilarious.
You crack me up.
Steele, just leave him out of this.
Oh, Balto. I've got a message for your mother.
Steele and his hench dog started howling at the sky. Angered, Balto growled and started to stalk them, as Boris escaped from the bowl and grabbed onto his tail.
Get him.
Get out of here, wolf dog. You better get back to your pack.
Maybe it's the unrelenting fear talking, but I'm seeing wisdom in this advice. Maybe we go now. Now!
Balto glared at Steele, then backed off and hurried back to his home, with Boris close behind. Laughing, the black husky and his team turned their backs and kicked snow at the duo. If you're thinking Steele sounds like a glory hound, you're pretty much right on target.
I think if Balto's friend got his feathers ruffled.
Half wolf in the side pocket there.
That was the most dead center. Yeah. The most on target. The most down the middle.
Just hit him.
That son of a...
He is the most malicious, the most disgusting, the most obnoxious, the most revolting, the most repulsive, and the most...
No lapdog.
Back on the boat, Balto was lying down in an abandoned blanket, which he often used during the night to keep him warm. Boris was lying down beside him when they saw a flock of geese flying above their heads.
Oh, sick, Boris. You ever think about going back?
Don't fret, Fido. I'm sticking here until I'm sure you can stand on all 4 feet.
You're taking care of me.
Don't think.
I smell herring.
The herring are flying south too.
Hey, must be muck and luck.
Ah, good news. Oh no.
How sweet, Uncle Boris.
2 polar bear cubs came racing up on the boat. One was short and had a black nose, and his name was Muck. The other was huge, had a red nose, and whimpered instead of talking, and his name was Luck. They loved Boris Goosenov and called him Uncle Boris, often stopping by the boat and greeting Boris with hugs and licks, although the goose didn't like it one bit.
He's glad to see you. We love you, Uncle Boris.
Boris struggled out of Luck's paws and fell right on top of Muck, who caught him. Then he angrily walked away as Luck started to cry.
What are you talking about? Of course he's glad to see us. He loves us. Don't you?
Boris paused for a moment, looked at Balto glaring him, and then sighed.
Okay. Hey, boy chicks, let's play a game.
Yes, please, Uncle Boris.
Race you to the shore. 1, 2, 3, go!
The cubs ran off, and just as Boris was about to turn back to Balto, they heard yelling and splashing. They raced to the beach and saw Muck and Luck splashing in a very shallow puddle.
Help! Help! I can't swim! We're drowning, guys.
save us, please! Fellas! Idiots, Balto, flop!
Easy, boys. You know how they are. Look, look! Relax. Hey, come on, you're okay. You're not drowning.
As point bears, you are not drowning because if you will pause one moment, you will observe perhaps tide is out. He said what?
Oh, the shame of the polar bear who fears the water. No wonder we are shunned by our fellow bear. Woe is us.
Is what he said. Kind of pathetic, really.
What? More whimpering? Between you and Balto is like Dostoevsky novel around here. Lighten up.
A few days later, Boris saw Balto gazing at something in the distance.
And what is so interesting?
Jenna.
Is love. So go make move. When the angels balalaika strum the sweet song of love. Mambo!
She's not my type.
And why not? This wolf business again. Now what's wrong with being half and half, I'd like to know. Sometimes I wish like crazy I was half eagle.
Why?
Better profile for one thing. And no one needs you for another.
Encouraged by his friend's words, Balto walked over to the hospital, where Jenna was outside, staring at the inside of a window.
Jenna? Jenna.
Balto. Hi. Rosie's in there.
In the hospital. Why?
She feels warm. She has a terrible cough. Balto, what's wrong with her?
I'm not sure, but I know how to find out. Come on. I have the keys to the city.
Balto led Jenna to the backside of the hospital, where he unhooked the hinges on the door and opened it. He motioned for the beautiful red husky to go in first. She stared at his wolf-like paws.
Big Paw's kind of running my family. At least one side of my family. Stay close.
The two dogs, well, Wolf Dog and Husky, stalked through the basement of the hospital.
It's so gloomy down here. Not that I'm scared or anything.
Gloomy? You kidding? It's the most beautiful spot in the world. Dogs travel for years just to be right here.
I can't see why.
That's because you're looking at the bowl half empty.
They found a spot where a shaft of light from a lit room illuminated 100 broken bottles, all of them empty.
See this? It's the polar ice caps. The sun. And to the north.
Balto moved away from the bottles, and they formed a beautiful rainbow. But he and Jenna's time together was about to come to an end. When the rainbow ended, they overheard the doctor saying that he was out of antitoxin and that Rosie had diphtheria. Jenna ran out of the basement, crying, with Balto right behind her.
Jenna, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. I should have taken you down there.
No, I'm glad you did.
Suddenly, Steele arrived, with a string of sausages in his mouth.
Well, what's wrong with this picture? Jenna, join me for dinner. You start at one end, I'll start at the other. When we get to the middle, well...
Jenna motioned to the fireplace behind Steele. Balto grinned as Jenna started to advance on Steele.
Gee, Steele. I have to admit your offer is very tempting.
It is.
These days I prefer mine cooked.
Then suddenly, Steele began to sniff something burning. It was his tail. As he jumped about, howling in pain, Balto and Jenna ran off. Steele released the sausages from his mouth and threw them on Balto, just as Rosie's father and the butcher arrived. Honored by Steele, the butcher gave the black glory hound the sausages as a reward, while Rosie's father shooed Balto away and took Jenna home.